Hi, we're Bruce and Cheryl. We moved from California to get away from the hustle and bustle of a fast-paced lifestyle and a not-so-perfect political climate to enjoy a slower speed, better values, and a rich Christian atmosphere. Join us as we discover our new environment, rebuild our new-to-us home on 2.5 acres, and enjoy the scenic southern landscape of central western Georgia.
Alright guys, so a little update. We've got some materials that came in. 54 sheets of OSB tongue and groove for the new floor, subfloor. We got 34 sheets of drywall, and we got some 2x4s, some 4x6, and then we've done a little more demo in here. Take you through the demo real quick. So I'm sure you saw at last we had the water heater demoed out of the space, pulled it off to the side, and then had this wall here taken down, but then I also have now taken down this wall. It was the bedroom wall between the living room and the bedroom, up to that corner so far. And then I pulled out all the drywall, or not drywall rather, the insulation from the ceiling, the lower portion of it. It's interesting how they did this. So I'm going to zoom around here. So this is the insulation that was in the roof. And as you can see by that profile, it's not very thick. So they basically have that thickness on the ceiling. And it was obviously put onto the trusses before they put the sheet metal on the roof. And there's a piece of the sheet metal right there, so you can see. So when the sheet metal was put on, it sandwiched the I keep saying drywall. It sandwiched the insulation between the metal and these, if you want to call them trusses. They're 1.5 by 1, which is 3/4 by 1.5 inches. I think they call it a 2x1 or 1x2. Anyway, that's what they made the trusses out of. They built them all at one time, and they even put on this ceiling, acoustic ceiling material, and stapled it all on. And then they set all of that on top of the walls, as you can see right here. Top of the wall ends here, the acoustic is still in between it. So it's very interesting the way they constructed these. Unfortunately, one of my fears was the way that they set the 2x4 trusses that they had built onto the building. It's not on the top plate. So up in here you can see this 2x6 right here, or maybe it's a 2x4. That they set on top of, well, this is the fascia right here. The fascia that's attached to their trailer trusses, right? And the trailer truss is actually sitting on top of acoustic paneling. So that's the acoustic panel between the truss and the wall. So you can probably see it better here. And then that fascia is attached to the end of the truss. And then they set their 2x4 on top of that fascia and then rested their trusses on top of that 2x4, which means that this fascia out here is carrying the load in tandem with these trusses. So I need to build a block to go from here up to here to carry that load on the top of the wall. On the ceiling, I'm going to pull all that off and cut out all that metal, and then brace up each one of these 2x4 trusses to the 2x4 wall, exterior wall, and that'll carry the load on the wall. Of course, I think probably before I do that, I'll have to look at it, but before I do that, I'll probably want to redo these windows, at least the framing, and then this whole wall here, which is the old exterior wall. That window, of course, will go away because I don't need a window into the garage. But that whole wall comes down because that truss configuration comes down, and then this whole wall will be rebuilt with 2x4, which I think it's 2x4 now. It's an exterior. Yeah, it is a 2x4 wall. It'll get rebuilt, or I've got to pull it up so that I can put the new floor all the way to the outside edge out there, and then floor it all the way across here to the last floor joist, which I think runs somewhere about right in here. And once I get all that new flooring down, then I can build this wall back on top of that new flooring, subfloor, and then carry it all the way up. So I could pull it apart in pieces. So I'll probably remove the wall and then trim the 2x4s, clean up the edges, the ends, attach a new bottom plate to the new wall, stand the wall up, and then add on to the wall to carry it up to the new trusses, which you can't see yet right now. All of that, which you see right there, goes away. But the bedroom changes a bit. Shower is going to be back there in that corner. This will still be the closet, but it'll be a different configuration. And then rather than the toilet being right here, the toilet will be in a closet right somewhere in here. And then where the tub ends here, that's going to be, this doorway will move down. Of course, it'll be a real doorway opening. It'll move down to here. That'll go into the laundry room that'll get built out here in the garage. It'll run across here, right? Okay, folks, you got to understand something right here. At this point, we still thought we were going to move into the mobile home after I did a simple remodel on the bedroom and bathroom.
Sure, but we had no idea how extensive the work was going to be.
Yeah, I thought, I'd do a simple remodel of bedroom and bathroom, piecemeal in the subfloor where I showed you that line right there, add that wall up to the new trusses that were there, and then do a simple add-on in the garage for a laundry room.
Meanwhile, we've been going to a local laundromat at the cost of nearly $20 a week.
$20 a week.
Yeah.
But
crazy.
Anyway, let's get back to the build. Across here, right? So then we'll have a longer vanity on this wall because that doorway moves down. So about a 5-foot vanity across here. This wall will jog a little bit. It'll come in here more, come across. So come across like this, and then die into the closet wall. Wherever the closet wall winds up, it'll come back, and it'll shoot across in front of the shower, giving you plenty of room between the shower and the closet door. And the doorway to the closet, I get around here. The doorway to the closet will be right here, and there'll be shelf and pole, and that'll be a solid wall there for the bedroom. Okay, gang, so we're back at it. We're doing some more demo. Took out that 1/4-inch plywood floor that they put in here, which was ridiculous. It becomes pretty apparent as I keep moving forward with all this stuff that the previous owner, and I guess, and his brother-in-law that did all this work, they had to have known about these issues. And apparently they're the ones who put this floor in, this vinyl floor, which is probably why it's not glued down, because I don't know if they knew that they were supposed to glue it down. And all this subfloor stuff that they put down to beef up the floor, well, again, they really didn't know what they were doing, so they just screwed the crap out of it and glued it in places that it shouldn't have been glued, and didn't glue it in places where it should have been glued. But the other thing I'm coming to discover as I look into this, that these guys were clearly aware that they had issues here. Let me show you something here. Let me grab a flashlight so we can put some light on this. So they built a deck off the back of the house, and they followed the same concept. Sorry about that. They followed the same concept as the skirt around the trailer. They basically carried a stem wall all the way around the outside edge of the deck, and I'll take you out there to refamiliarize you with it. Going out the old laundry room door here to the backyard. So this deck right here. Real quick interjection here. I want to clear something up. The audio is obviously coming from a point of irritation. At this point, I'm just discovering things that I had no idea that existed. And I'm making some conclusions in the video that I probably shouldn't be making. I meant no disrespect to the previous owner or his brother-in-law. It just, to me at the time, it seemed like it was pretty obvious that they knew something they maybe didn't know. Considering that it seemed apparent that the skirting was put on at a point where the trailer had already had issues, but it's possible that it was in good shape. I don't know. I mean, it could be that when they put the skirt around and where they left off the skirt underneath the where the deck on the back is attached, they didn't run the deck underneath the rim joist of the trailer. They just went past the trailer, did the deck, and then came back to the trailer. And over a course of time with the rain and everything, it saturated between the trailer and the deck down in that area. And that could have been what caused the trailer to start to sink. So anyway, let's get back to the backyard. So this deck right here, and this stem wall, where you would think that that stem wall right there continues on all the way across, it does not. It turns 90 right here, which is why they have the vents. They bricked this in all the way around, and then somehow they used steel edges, so this wall right here, I'll finish my thought in a second, but this wall right here, it continues on all the way through and goes all the way through to the garage, on the side of the garage. My pit, my hole for the waistline is pretty soft. I need to finish filling that in too. That's not done yet, and it's pretty wet right now because of the rain we had the other day. Got a couple inches of rain. Anyway, so they put like an angle iron edge all the way around these corners, all the way down the edge, and then I'm not sure what they used underneath to support the concrete, but basically they poured this concrete deck, and it's hollow underneath, And I'm not sure, which is part of the reason why you see the cracks here, but I'm not sure what they used to support it up underneath the middle. I don't know if they use the same kind of blocks that they're trying to use here, like to support that member right there. No, look at that wonderful cockroach. But anyway, so their process is inaccurate because it's not properly supporting. And then, of course, we discovered, or I discovered when I went underneath the floor a few days ago, that there were columns like this one that you see here. I'm sorry if you're getting dizzy. Like this column that you see right here. It appears to have some kind of concrete footing underneath it, but I don't know how deep it is. And the steel I-beam is resting on top of that concrete, but the floor, well, it's measuring at the wall when I put the laser on it. It's measuring 6 1/4 inches off of the floor to the line on the laser on that wall. And on this wall, it's hitting about halfway across that 2x4. So there's a 1x4 below the 2x4. So here's the wonderful framing style that they use with these modular mobile homes. Here they actually used a 2x4 at the top plate, and I'm hoping they did the same thing with the back wall. But unfortunately the side walls here, that's a 1x4 on the top, a 1x4 on the bottom, with 2x4s in between. That's the exterior walls. Certainly not built as well as my son Jesse's, who apparently he has 2x6 exterior walls. So that 1x4 is in there, I'm sorry, that 2x4 is in there as a block of some sort, but the bottom plate is a 1x4. And I'm assuming it carries all the way across both directions, which I'm kind of going to have to kind of leave that, because I can't take off the exterior walls because I am basically bracing each of the new, so let me back up here, back it out here. Oops, wrong way. So I'm basically supporting all of the new trusses onto that 2x4 wall to carry the load of the roof. Hopefully that, hopefully you can see that it's not washed out there. And obviously when they were building it, they had some issues because you can see some areas where they had water damage on the backside of the plywood. I have not seen any drips inside since the rain, but we'll be looking for it. And then of course there's the old roof for the mobile home next to the new trusses above it. You can see the distance and height there that changes. So the old lid was, I don't know, about 7 feet, 7'4", and the new lid's going to be 10 foot. Anyway, so still lots of work to do, but these columns, so like I said, this one column right here, it actually is sitting on the brick, but it's low. It's, 5 inches low in this back corner, meaning that the whole trailer is listing to the backyard, dropping 5 inches in this back corner and graduating up to somewhere in the middle of the dining room there. It was about 4 inches. And as we move back to the back corner, it's only about 1.5 inches in that back bedroom. So it's listing into this corner back here. And so getting back to the piers, I keep getting sidetracked. Several of the piers underneath that are supposed to hold up that girt, there's air. Some places probably 2.5, maybe 3 inches of air between the steel girt and the column, meaning that there's nothing supporting the floor. It sat on that brick right there, and it snapped that brick because there's so much weight on it, because it's carrying all that load. So we've got to go through and basically jack this guy back up. And there's another girt somewhere You can't see it yet. And this, of course, this is what this is what the underneath of that tub that was in here looked like. So literally the floor was falling out, and they just came in. I guess the floor was falling out in this bathroom as well. So they just came in, and rather than leveling everything and fixing this, they just basically removed the subfloor, put new plywood down, and then used these peel and stick square tiles and retiled the floor and called it good. This is what it looked like underneath the tub. Completely gone. And I don't know if you can see that right there, but that 2x6 is just kind of, let me see if I can walk on it here a little bit, give you an idea. That guy is just sort of floating out in no man's land because it's not attached to anything. There's no support underneath it. There's no support on the end. It's just sort of hanging there. So, well, needless to say, got a lot of work to do. So I'll check in with you guys again later as I move along. Hey guys, thanks for coming along on our journey. Thank you for those who have already subscribed to the channel, and we really covet those likes and the subscription. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then we'd love it.
And we enjoy your comments, so keep it up. We really appreciate it.
If I haven't gotten back to your comments yet, I promise I will. We're still a learning curve.
Yeah.
We've got some new technology that we've purchased is coming out, and we'll get better on our videos. So just, if you like us, like and subscribe, hit that bell for updates and notifications when we're going to be back on, and when we got a new video coming out.
You're a blessing to us all.
You're an absolute blessing. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one.